Okay, well next you were given the pattern 5, 3, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, and then some dots. My question is, what are the next two numbers in this pattern? Okay, well, you note that there's just one 3 after the 5 here. There are two 3s after the 5 here. How many 3s are there going to be after the 5 here? Well, you could say, well, if there's one here and there are two of them here, you kind of expect there might be 3 of them here, and in which case the next number would be a 3, and that would be all the 3s you'd want to put there, and you'd follow that by a 5, and then that would probably be followed by 4 3s and a 5, then by 5 3s and a 5, and so forth. And if that's the pattern, as you, and that's a perfectly reasonable pattern, that's a pattern I would expect people to see. And there's no way, there's no need, there's no justification for preferring that pattern over any other, like the one I'm going to mention here in a minute. Okay, so that's a fairly straightforward continuation of a pattern. Now if we come down here, I've got another continuation of the pattern where I add okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, the pattern here. The pattern I thought I was going to see that I talked about is where you could add 4 3s here just as well as you could add 3 with equal justification, because you could say, well, I've got 3 here. 2 times 3 is 2, so I've doubled the number of 3s, and now I could double the number of 3s in the next step. Okay, that's as valid as just continuing to add 1 to the number of 3s. Now what I've got down here, and I've got okay, because you kind of see a okay, what kind of pattern would give me this, where I have 6 3s here after the 3? You can say, well, okay, 6 is double 3, so I'm just doubling, but I've got 3 here and 2 here. It didn't double between here and here. Okay, we just, added 1 between here and here. So what's your justification for this pattern? Okay, well, you should maybe pause and think about how I could justify that pattern. I'm going to tell you, so it's going to be ruined, so spoiler alert, I'm about to tell you. If you want to stop and think about it, now's the time to do so. Okay. After this point, okay, when I get up to here, how many 3s have I seen previously? I've seen 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put 3 of them down here. Okay, now after this 5, I look back and see how many 3s have I seen so far. Well, I've seen 1, 2, 3, and 3 more is 6. Okay, so that the number of 3s that follow a 5, except for the first and second steps, the number of 3s that follow my 5 is going to be the total number of 3s that have appeared previously. So how many would follow the next 5? Again, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you in a minute. I recommend that you think through and see if you understand the pattern, so you understand the result. Well, okay, I'm going to tell you now. We've got 6 here, and we've got 3 here, and 2 here, and 1 here. That's a total of 12, so there's going to be 12. Well, now it looks like then from this point on we're doubling the number of 3s. But the rule can't be you double the number of 3s. The rule could be you double the number of 3s after you get to the third 5, or it just could be, which is somewhat simpler, after you get to the third 5 you just use the total number of 3s that have occurred previously. Another one you might think about, if I had the sequence that goes 5, 3, 5, 3, 3, 3, okay? And now I use the same rule I was using here, except I have a different start because I have just 1 3 here and 3 here. Okay, how many 3s would I follow by? Well, if it's the total number of 3s that have already appeared, then it's going to be 4 3s. Getting ahead of myself. Then I'm going to have a 5. Now how many 3s? Well, it's going to be these 4 plus these 3 plus this 1, that's going to be 8 threes. So it kind of looks like maybe it's going to double again. Will that always be the case no matter how I start? Okay, good thing to think about.